All right, I think we are live. Hey, everybody, my name is Cody. Sorry, I've got some music playing in the background. I've got to get stopped here. All right. Hey, everybody, my name is Cody. Geez. Okay. I had YouTube up to see if it would go. So sorry, first time doing this one with Earnscape. So we're trying something new. My name is Cody. I'm the host and CMO of Earnscape. I'm joined by Steve, the founder. Steve, if you want to give yourself a quick little intro.
Sure. Hey, everybody probably knows who I am in some capacity, but I'm Steve, founder and CEO of Earnscape. Just a quick overview on me. If you don't know, I started what became Earnscape in 2021. It went through quite a few changes and team shuffles and all sorts of fun stuff that you associate with a good old startup. I got into crypto back in 2011. It was just Bitcoin, and Bitcoin was $5 when it was $2 when I heard about it. But I didn't really start doing anything with it until it was $5. So I've been around for quite a while. I've been building in the space actively since 2018 when I started working with the Republic of Liberland, which is a country that is built entirely on blockchain technology. Although it does have physical territory, it is a real place. You can go there. There's settlers, there's an elected government. We have international relations and a permanent population that lives in the area. So it's a real thing, but that was really cool to help build a country from scratch on chain. And that was kind of how I started building in Web3. And then through various twists and turns of life, I ended up here.
Nice. Well, we're extremely grateful that you decided to do that and get us to the place where we're at today. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. There's quite a few community members that are saying the same thing. So moving right along, we have Doc. Doc, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Greetings and salutations, friends in Earnscape land and Twitterverse and YouTubeville. My name is Doc. You know me probably, maybe you don't. I've been around here for a while. I've been here since like 2018. Love entertainment, love gaming, pop culture, all that kind of stuff. I've known Steve for a long time. I have been with the project probably since its inception, I'd say, and just help along with the leading the BD and integrations and partnerships with Earnscape. So nice to be here.
Awesome. And we've got a new face, somewhat new with the project community, with the community and with the company. Amanda, if you want to just kind of introduce yourself, that would be great.
Thanks, Cody. My name's Amanda. I'm the head ambassador here. Been playing video games for as long as I can remember. And it's an honor to be here with you guys, honestly.
Nice.
Thank you for having me on.
Well, welcome.
Digging the Halo vibes.
Yep, for sure. So, and then those that don't know me, like I said, my name is Cody. I'll be your host. I'm also the CMO. I've been with Earnscape for just a few months. I think I came on in October, if I remember right. But very excited about where this project is headed, where the company's going, all the different functions and features that are being rolled into it. So my background is in obviously marketing and also UI UX design. So there's a lot of cool things that Steve and Doc and I have been kind of brewing in the background. So can't wait for 2025. It's definitely going to be a great year for Earnscape. Likewise, these community AMAs, we are excited to kind of kick these off at the beginning of the year. We plan on doing these once a month towards the end of the month. We will kind of bear with us for the first couple of months as we try to get our bearings with a good day and time of the month to do it at. We know that we have quite a big community across the globe, so we understand that not everybody can participate in these live events, so which is why we are broadcasting on YouTube so that we can get this recorded and you guys can go back and watch it at a later date and time. So but if you guys happen to have any questions, feel free to throw those into the comments, and the software that we're using should pull those in. If you don't, I'm kind of monitoring the different channels as well that we're broadcasting to so that we can grab those questions for you. Thanks and foremost to all of those community members that submitted questions for this AMA. We will definitely be bringing those a little bit later into the conversation towards the end of this community AMA. But real quick, the goal is that we're just going to kind of give you guys what you've been asking for. There's lots of questions out there about roadmap and where we're currently at with the dev cycle of things and ambassador programs and things like that. And so a lot of exciting things coming up. And so, with that being said, I think that that's one of the main things that people want to hear about, Steve. So we'll kind of kick it off to you to begin with the kind of Web3 integration dev cycle roadmap, wherever we're at right now. You can take it and run with it and go.
All right. So we have a pretty long roadmap. Originally, I was thinking it was going to be about a 2-year roadmap. Probably more like a 4 or 5 year roadmap based on how difficult it's been to build some of this stuff and how much more we keep adding to it as we go. I feel like at least once a week something else comes up. I'm like, oh, add that to the backlog. Oh, add that to the backlog. So our backlog has, I think, grown faster than it's shrunk from completing things. So at this rate, our backlog is technically going to be infinite. But I will just kind of go to the things that we're currently building out and finishing. So I know that we have said that we were going to release a new overhaul around the middle of December. That proved a lot more robust than we originally anticipated. And we kept running into really small things that didn't work right. So almost all of those are ironed out now. A lot of the stuff that we've been promising you and we keep saying, yeah, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. I know it's dragging out, but I swear to God, it is actually coming. Hopefully, if Google is shining a good light on us, we will get what you guys will primarily see out hopefully tomorrow. And then there's going to be a closed beta version or a closed alpha, whichever you prefer to call it, that's only available to people who've signed up to be beta testers. And that will be available probably early to mid next week, assuming, again, all goes well, which, knock on wood, you never really know. So just assume that that's how it's going to look for the intermediate term. We have a lot of stuff that's been coming and a lot of stuff that's being built right now. The beta build that only beta testers and ambassadors are going to have access to is going to have all of our live streaming functions built into it. It's also going to have a lot of our Web3 functions, and it's going to have a couple other goodies which you'll have to discover once you actually start using it. And please don't share all the other stuff that you're going to find in there because we don't want to give away everything right out of the gate. But it's not going to be perfect. And we want everybody who uses it to be very responsive and let us know when something doesn't work. That's why it's a beta. So we don't expect everything to work 100% of the time. Our live streaming functions have worked quite well in our internal testing, but we don't know how it's going to work when we get like hundreds of people starting to stream and thousands, if not millions, of people starting to watch the streams. In theory, it should work perfectly fine, but we want to make sure that everything does work perfectly fine before we deploy it to production, which is one of the reasons that not everybody's getting it right away. The stuff that we're deploying right away is basically a revamped look at how everything is that's already in there looks, with a few new things. There's a little bit more information that you haven't really had access to, such as all of the tasks that you've completed, the current status of the boosts that you've earned from those, stuff like that. A little bit more details that you'll be able to see now. There's also going to be a much better look and feel for the app. It's a lot more streamlined. Things are a lot more obvious. We've taken a lot of feedback from the community into consideration as we've redesigned the thing. And as we keep promising, and I apologize to those of you who keep getting stuck in the cycle and getting emails about this, there will be in-app KYC. So everybody who's currently stuck in a KYC loop, we had to discontinue processing those by hand because the volume was getting too high. And we need to move towards doing that within our mobile application that automatically syncs to our database so that we can make sure that everybody is actually getting processed correctly. That will be in this app. So hopefully tomorrow, those of you who have been flagged for a KYC review will be able to complete that. And bear with us because we're pretty sure we're also going to be quite overloaded right out of the gate, but we'll try to move through those as quickly as possible. I could give a little bit more information on what's coming up in the roadmap, but I want to keep things moving along here. So I assume that we'll get more questions about some specifics that we can dive into a little bit later. And we also have a pretty robust agenda for this. So a lot of the stuff that will be covered later on will be more or less related to the roadmap.
Yeah, like Steve said, we'll definitely be talking about some of those things coming up. So I think that one of the things that is on a lot of people's minds, you've already talked about the live stream, but the next thing is just kind of more of like the token generation event that we have coming up, hopefully at the end of next month. Do you want to dive in a little bit into what that is, how it'll benefit the company by us, releasing our own token? How can they get prepared, and who should participate in this token event?
Yeah, I can certainly share a lot about that. So I know this is the question that we see a lot in the Telegram and in the Discord and everywhere in the community. People always want to know about this. So here's your chance to hear some firsthand details. So unfortunately, we're probably not going to be doing it in December simply because it took so long for us to get this intermediate build out and the relaunch of the app with all the additional functions. So we don't want to launch something that breaks, and you only get one shot at a TGE. We want to make real sure that it works perfectly before we do it. So we're going to kick it back another month. We're now looking at March. We're still going to keep it in Q1 if at all possible, unless we come up with some major problems that we didn't expect when everybody starts testing this, which is another reason we need you to be very proactive when you're testing it. This will affect the TGE. If people are not being proactive and telling us about problems that they've run into in the app, we find them later. It's too late to fix them before the TGE. We have to delay the TGE again. So please, if you're in the beta program, actually report everything that you find that doesn't work, because we need all of your support to be able to make this work properly. The TGE itself is currently slated for a DEX-only launch. I know people keep asking what exchanges we're going to be on. We've had a lot of offers from various exchanges, but I don't know how closely you guys follow TGEs, but most of them dump pretty hard. And there's a good reason for that. One of the good reasons for that is that a lot of centralized exchanges require a large token allocation, which they immediately dump. They don't really accept any vesting. They take your tokens, and as soon as they see any liquidity in there, they sell them. And they do that because they assume that everything's going to go to zero. So they want to liquidate everything they have as quickly as possible. So launching on a centralized exchange can actually be a really net negative for most projects unless they're extremely well capitalized. We have a pretty solid model for our token, and I don't want it to get butted by a centralized exchange that dumps everything to zero right out of the gate. So we're looking at a DEX-only launch, and that will be determined based on the chains that we end up launching on. We have built everything for the EVM ecosystem, but right now we aren't sure which chains it's going to be available on at launch. We're still in discussions with quite a few chains. I had the good fortune of meeting the CEO of a chain last week while I was in DC for the inauguration, and he is really interested in getting our token listed there. We also have a couple of other really powerful chains that have some pretty solid infrastructure tech that we might be interested in using. And even if we don't fully deploy on one of those chains, there's a few that we're probably going to use in some capacity as well. So there's going to be a lot. As you guys are aware, we do support quite a few chains, and any chain that supports USDC, we can, in theory, add so long as it's EVM. We do have wallet software solutions that will provide coverage for every EVM chain, and we're also looking at expanding into the Bitcoin network as well. And even if we don't get on BTC itself, there's ways around that because there's EVM chains that offer Bitcoin. Interestingly enough, Bitcoin as a native token. So we're really trying to make sure that this works perfectly before we move forward, which is one of the reasons that things have been a little bit on the slow side. But as far as the TGE goes, we're also not planning a major public sale for the same reason that we don't want to list on an exchange, because most people who buy in a public sale just buy to dump. And I'm really bullish on actual utility, as you may have gathered from the fact that I don't want to launch a token until there's all utility in place. Kind of runs contrary to how most places do things. Most people who launch a token do it without having anything built. in case you haven't noticed, we've got quite a robust ecosystem already built, and we don't have the token yet because we want to do this the right way. So I want to make sure that the token is used for the purposes that we have in the app and in our ecosystem. So you'll only really be able to use our token within the app. Everybody's going to get an in-app wallet, in case we haven't made that clear. You'll get our token as you play games. That'll be in addition to the USDC that you get. You'll also get our token. You can also buy it if you want and send it to your in-app wallet and use it there. But we don't expect too many people to do that, because you can, and actually I would encourage you to do that while the price is still really cheap when we get started, because who knows what's going to happen later, especially since we've taken a lot of precautions to make sure that the price doesn't dump. And we do have built-in price support. So, all those rewards that you guys are getting, the money that we hand out is also going to be used to back the token. So if people do sell, we'll be buying it back up, but we can't counter a massive centralized exchange liquidation. So that only works if we launch this the correct way. And that's the reason it's going the way it is.
The good news is, Steve, is that we definitely have a large army of ambassadors that are very, very excited to get going with this and to help ensure that we hit the next TGE kind of date that we've set out there. Plus, I think that a lot of these guys, I've talked to quite a few of them actually on Twitter and things like that, and they are very knowledgeable when it comes to games. So a lot of them have got some pretty good ideas. So I think that we'll not only be able to test it thoroughly, but we'll also be able to provide our dev team with quite a few bits and pieces of feedback on how to improve it as well. So, I loved how you mentioned utility, because we definitely have utility coming right out of the gate. So don't mean to steal your thunder there a little bit, Steve, but definitely want to say, hey, if you haven't signed up for the ambassador program, wink, wink, you definitely want to do before the 14th of this next month, because after that, it's going to cost you to get into the program. So this is one of the first utilities that Steve is talking about that will be part of that token generation event. So if you don't sign up, and then you want to become an ambassador with all the perks and benefits behind it, you're going to have to wait until after the TGE event. And so right now it sounds like it's going to be pushed out a little while. So you're going to have to wait. So if you're on the fence, sign up. It's free, and you can definitely help us move towards creating a great kind of platform that we're all seeking to build here. So
I'll just quickly say that for those of you that, TGE is such a hard subject. And as someone who's been in this space for a long time, there is actually nothing more positive than pushing out a TGE if that's what's needed. Like, everybody hates waiting. Everyone anticipates, a lot of big stuff. But if you rush something like that, that's like a make or break thing. So everything that's been going on behind the scenes is all being done to support a really solid, well-rounded TGE. So just to assure everybody, it's not that something's not ready or whatever. It's just you build until it's time, and then you pull the switch. So we're all really confident, and it's actually extremely exciting, everything that's going on. And maybe I'll get to hint at some of that here shortly.
Oh, I have a feeling you will. So yeah, I love how Steve also mentioned, a lot of projects build without utility. They build they do the token first, then try to get it the utility afterwards. So it's a huge struggle, right? Because you buy the token, there's nothing to do with it. But right out of the gate, I'm telling you, we've got some things lined up, and I shared one of them with you as well. So kind of moving that along, one of the things that we also talked about with the with the TGE event is, Steve, you mentioned kind of keeping it low key, kind of keeping it not a highly publicized sell. Who should participate in this, and why, or how can they get prepared for it? Any hints that you can give our community to get ready for this event?
Well, if you've been hoarding all the USDC we've been giving you, this would be a great time to use it.
There you go. You heard it.
So yeah, I would say, have a little bit of capital ready to deploy if you're interested in jumping in. I do see, and there's a very relevant question down at the bottom here about offering a premium membership that provides higher earnings with a minimal investment. I'm just going to say, hold on to the token. Because especially if you're not in the beta program, you'll want to have all of the, and so the beta, we're going to have like a fake version of the token in the beta so that we can test a lot of this stuff that will convert over. It's not going to be wasted. You'll actually get something real token for the fake token. We'll have a quick little thing that you can just kind of flip them, convert it to the real token once the TGE happens. But yeah, so the people who are in the beta, please don't share any of the information that you figure out from there. But basically that question is a affirmative. Yes, there will be something that you can do with the token that will increase your earning rates and open up a lot more. And that's I don't want to say too much more than that. Also,
we'll leave it there.
Yeah, I do see one other question that I can just touch on really quick. Yes, the App Store, the iOS App Store, that's coming. Apple is really kind of a hassle to work with, but we have a solution, and we're quite confident that it's going to work. We just have to get the Android version that we've been talking about deployed so that we can port all of that over to the iOS version, then we'll be allowed to do it. So it's coming, but yeah, you'll have to hold on for a little bit longer. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. So
for those who don't know, by the way, Apple is notoriously hard to get you have to go through a huge series of steps and checks and balances and applications and getting, certain developer numbers and credentials and stuff like that. It's no easy route for anybody. So that's why it's always secondary to getting out on Android first. But just a little key into from someone who's worked with a lot of mobile games. It's not easy, but it will happen most certainly.
Nice. So you definitely heard it. Hold on to the cash, get a little powder in your pouch there for some burn down the road, so that you got some momentum going into this event, because it definitely does sound like there's some good things coming. And I can also, reemphasize that, working with Steve and Doc and the rest of the team is just they do put the community first when it comes to this kind of stuff. So they want to make sure that the ecosystem is solid, the ecosystem is sustainable. And I think that's a big thing there. I think one of the big questions, Steve, is the token generation. And once we do introduce a token, the Earns token, into it, how does this really affect the gameplay and earning mechanism of the app?
It's going to affect it a lot, and mostly it'll affect it in the background in ways that you won't see as you're playing. However, there are a few major ways that it will affect your gameplay. I don't want to go into all the details, but the token is a core part of the live streaming experience. So that's just something you'll have to discover as you go. And if you guys know anything about live streaming, you should know that there's a lot of money to be made as a streamer. You'll get quite a bit of revenue from, Doc, what was the name of the live streaming that does desktop that just had $2 million in a day that flowed through the system?
Oh, that was just on Abstract. Yeah, that was just on Abstract.
Yeah, that was Abstract.
I mean, in Q3 of 2023, there were over 8 billion hours of streaming consumed. And of that, 4 billion of that was specifically gaming across all platforms like Twitch, Kick, YouTube, etc. And there's, a reason for that. And the thing that we want to do the most with this live streaming tip is give all of you the ability, or give anybody the ability that enters this app and this ecosystem, the opportunity to capitalize on doing the things you love and not have to have a crazy setup to do it. You don't have to get an emulator. You don't have to run OBS. You don't have to do all that stuff. You just launch the game and you click a couple buttons and it's boom, you're there and you're doing it. You don't have to leave the app. I dare say there is not anybody else on the market who has this capability. And certainly, even if they could not do it in the way that Earnscape has set it up. So it's
literally can't.
Yeah, they literally can't. Yeah. So you don't need the Streamlabs and all that kind of stuff. You just go straight to the meat.
Yep. So if you're a streamer, here's your early opportunity to get in on
Or if you
something,
want to be one.
Yeah, if you want to be one as well. That's a great point, Steve. So it's a great opportunity for you to get out there and kind of start making a name for yourself, especially as we start growing the live streaming experience. And we definitely have some good ideas around that, as we kind of talked about, for the streamers to be able to monetize quite a bit. So hopefully we'll go through that. If not in this AMA, we'll definitely be going through those in future AMAs as well. So kind of moving this along. This month has been pretty productive, I would say, from partnerships and new games getting launched. We've had a couple new games. Steve, do you want to kind of talk to that, or Doc, do you want to kind of talk to that as well?
We have. Well, sorry.
I've been talking a lot. I'll let you take this one.
Sure thing. So, the games. So right now, our strategy is for our early game partners, we want to kind of try to bring on a little mix of everything as good as possible, just to kind of show developers of all genres like what Earnscape's all about, and also give you the variety to play the games that you like to play. We have had a lot of really great conversations, and while I won't name upcoming things specifically, I will say we have like some racing stuff on the way. Gosh, Steve, hold on. I got to look through my Telegram here just to be like, just to catch up, because, well, announced stuff. Kingdom Carnage is doing their launch soon, which is really awesome. We have partnerships going with some really big, like, super connector communities who kind of like helm and work with tons of games coming out of like Southeast Asia, for example. Wow, we have stuff. There's just a lot of really good stuff. So a lot of the big mobile games that you see, I mean, we're talking to everybody that we can. And I had some great calls the other day that I think will probably net us quite a few stuff. I hate to be the guy to be like, oh, it's going to be so good. But anyway, the point is, with business development and partnerships, things are going buttery smooth. We are excited. Our current partners are very happy. We're doing what's on the tin and growing their numbers and turning players into fans. And that's really what this is all about. And the ability for Earnscape, and this is kind of what we say in general for those who kind of like wonder, like, what's the real angle with Earnscape? Like, we speak in Web3 a lot about onboarding the next million users or whatever that may be. If you look at the market and you look at things like that, mobile gaming is already, I think, by a small percentage, outsizing PC, console, handheld, any other types of gaming combined. There are more phones that have been produced on the planet Earth than there are people. So this connectivity, we have the networks increasing. So mobile gaming is where it's at. However, there is still yet to be a really solid portal for discovery mobile gaming. Even though gaming seems really huge when you're thinking about it through a Web3 lens, on the whole, we are still but a tiny part of that. So Earnscape's here to let you put the games you love next to the games that we're suggesting to you and play it. So I can get off Candy Crush and go to a Web3 puzzler. I can do a MOBA and find something from our partner games. There's nothing out there that does that. So from a business development and partnership perspective, and the fact that we can also let Web2 games of any kind experience the same level of blockchain rewards. It's very simple. It doesn't require a lot of code changes or things like that. So if you just want to get kind of an idea of where our head is at, and when we approach partnerships and things like that, it's exactly that. This is easy. It serves a purpose. It brings more people to Web3 gaming. It enhances your experience. It's risk-free for anyone that comes and signs up for the app. This is risk-free rewards for doing something you love. You just got to twiddle your thumbs for a little bit longer and earn that money. And then again, as far as like how we're going to, I would say, deepen the user experience on the app, we're definitely in discussions on how to make your experience on the app more than just push a button, launch a game, with different types of, things you can do with your profile. And as Steve said, things you can unlock and experience. And a pretty big piece that I really don't want to speak about at the moment, because I'm it's not because it's a secret, but I'd rather over deliver when the time is ready.
Yep.
So, but yeah, there's a lot of great stuff on the horizon. Literally, I think Steve and I have both. Where I'm at, it's 5:30 in the morning. Steve and I have both been on at least 10 hours of nonstop calls today, on like every level imaginable. A couple Twitter Spaces there threw in just for a little spice, but yeah, it don't stop in Earnscape HQ. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I think that Doc definitely stirred the pot with throwing out some shade on PC and AAA games.
No shade, baby. It's just, it is what it is. I am a PC Master Race guy myself, but I also spend a lot of time playing Roblox with my daughter, but I've been really into Vampire Survivors lately too, and WAGMI games and Swarms and like all the other great stuff. Like I even am spending more time playing mobile games than I am on my fancy PC gaming rig that I'm just like using to talk to people on Twitter with more than anything else. And my 4K monitor, like dial it up on this bad boy. So yeah.
I think you even got the fact checkers out there checking to see if there's more mobile devices out there than there are people. So we'll have I did a lot of research back on that one.
I did a lot of research.
No, it's all good. So Steve, why don't you fill us in on the ones that actually did launch that we can talk about game partner wise that have kind of partnered with us and we promoted this month.
Yeah, so as you may have noticed, we had a new feature this month, Game of the Month. That's actually going to be expanding a bit too. So right now it's just one Game of the Month, but it's going to become a thing where basically any game that wants to can run a monthly competition. But this month we did Royal Rampage, and they have been quite pleased.
I'd say.
Yeah, they've been happy with the results, and I don't think you guys are aware of this, but actually the winners are going to be getting some NFTs, so we're going to be contacting you after the fact to get your wallet addresses so that we can fulfill that. Also, we have another one coming up next month with one of our new featured games, Bit Fighters. They are also going to be offering NFTs, and these NFTs, I think you said, Cody, that if you were to buy them, they'd be like $75 a piece or something. I haven't done my due diligence on that.
Yeah, it was just a conversation in passing. So definitely want to get out there and earn not only on the Bit Fighters, but also the Rampage. There's still a day, today's the 30th, so we still got one more day.
Still got about 24 hours.
24 hours
before we hit midnight UTC at the end of the month.
Call in sick and just crank that Red Bull and let's get those scores up, because you definitely want to get some of these NFTs that they're going to be giving away as well.
Yeah, they're quite valuable.
Yeah.
So yeah,
we love our friends at Bitfighter. We love all our partners. They're so rad. Can I just say one other awesome thing that we can do with Earnscape is, Bitfighters is a two-man team. They're a small indie team. We can put them next to the biggest, most super well-funded, mega traditional Web 2 mobile games and put them in the same arena and give them the same amount of discoverability. And to me, that's one of the coolest damn things that we're able to offer is letting those indie teams come up and stand next to, shoulder to shoulder with the giants and giving them all the same level of support and visibility. Like, get Bitfighter team to fix Call of Duty. I saw in private chat. Well, we'll let them ship their game first. But you know what I'm saying? Like, we need more of that. And that way it's like when in this path of discovery, you're sharing this with the people and things. This is like, we're supporting each other and we're bringing these new users in and it's just, that's like a feel good thing for me. I'm a big champion of the underdogs, and that's the best thing about Web3 anyways, the ability to create and fund and have people who appreciate you and support you and help push you and drive you to be successful. And so this is just like the way I see Earnscape is a direct extension of like really pure Web3 ethos and allowing us to help our friends and lift them up. So yeah, just a little thought piece there. Sorry, I'm on coffee a lot. Might go off on a tangent.
It's all good. I mean, just like in any gaming environment, you do come across those people that you make instant kind of friendships with and kind of get to know, and it's a pleasure to be on this side of things as well, because the two-man crews to the bigger teams, it doesn't matter. When you got a sweet game, it's fun to get involved with them and be able to bring both sides together to make a game great for our communities. So anybody else that we missed, Steve, that you want to do a call out that we integrated with
WagMe,
or
can't forget WagMe. We got WagMe in here, and they're in the queue for being game of the month as well.
Yep.
And it'll be great when we no longer have to just do it with one game at a time, and we can have them running for any game that wants to do it all at the same time. So that'll be a good day.
Perfect.
Yeah, like for those of you that don't know, there's over 200 games come out every single day. So it's really hard for the ones that are just, a two-man team like Bitfighters to actually get some attention and get people playing. And like Doc said, we can put them right next to Call of Duty. We can put them right next to Raid Shadow Legends with their $1 billion marketing budget. So we're the great equalizer.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So that's kind of a nice kind of segue into some things that I wanted to kind of talk about. One of the questions is, what kind of games projects are we going to be partnering with? If you haven't listened to one of our Thursday AMAs that we do at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, each week we do a very in-depth kind of topic around gaming. And we invite a whole bunch of experts into that space with us. And so as a result, we get to know a lot of these projects. And to be honest, it has been a great opportunity for us because we usually have quite a few games that do reach out to us after those AMAs to discuss potential partnerships, synergies, and integrations in with what we're doing. So one thing that I'm going to call out for our community is to listen in if you can on those live events, because every person that listens in, sends emojis, comments on the thread, that only helps us get a broader reach. Steve participated in an AMA. I can't remember whose it was a week or so ago. It hit almost 1 million people listened in, right? And so that is huge for us when it comes to awareness, right? And that doesn't cost us anything from a marketing perspective. And so those are the kind of things that we are looking for to get our community involved with. And so if you think about the potential of where we can go with the streaming portion of it, kind of keep that in the back burner on the back of your mind of where we would basically be able to go with this and the potential that streamers could have for monetizing that kind of thing. So from a marketing standpoint, that has been really, really good. A lot of people have asked us what other kind of marketing efforts that we're going to be doing as well. Steve mentioned one of them, and I'm really, really excited about the monthly leaderboard competitions. There's so many things that Steve and I talked about doing with that I hope that we can get out to get them deployed out for you guys to kind of participate in. Because really it's just a matter of just kind of bringing those kind of single games into being able to play with your friends, being able to play as a community, as a guild, those kind of things. And so there's a lot of opportunity with what we can do there. But I appreciate the love and support that you guys have given that. That was just kind of a one-off thing that we tried to see if it would even really take off. And it took off, I would say. Like Steve was mentioning earlier, our partner on that definitely loved the results. So hopefully you guys had fun playing it, because like I said, it's a double duty. So if you're already playing the game, you're getting kind of a double dip, playing normally and then also just participating in that competition. So like Steve said, we're going to be amping that up and offering it to quite a few different elements so that you can participate in multiple per month. The ambassador program has been a huge success. We'll let Amanda talk about that here in just a minute. Looks like she had to jump off. Oh, there she is. We'll have her talk a little bit more about that here in just a second. I've already talked about the roundtable discussions. One of the things that we're going to be doing is kind of beefing up. If you haven't, a few weeks ago, we did a one-on-one interview with bit fighters. It was a great opportunity to get to know them, allow them to kind of explain what their game's all about. These are the kind of things that we want to bring to you as well. So as we bring on these partners, we don't want to leave you guys in the dark, because a lot of these guys have not only one game, but multiple games, that titles that they're going to be releasing into our ecosystem as well. So you definitely want to be on top of those. And one of the other things that we are going to be doing from an influencer / KOL point of view is that we signed a contract with a group that is a KOL management group for some pretty big names that are gamers. Likewise, we've got another group that we've signed that specializes with guilds that we're going to be focusing on trying to help push Earnscape out, push the streaming portion out, push the ambassador kind of thing out. So there will be a lot of opportunities for ambassadors to come in and help push those content pieces, the KOL messaging, all that kind of stuff, and earn on top of it as well. So the other fun thing that Amanda and I are working on, hopefully we'll be able to get it out sooner rather than later. It is one thing that we are working on, is the marketplace. We definitely want you guys to have opportunity to pick up swag, pick up, what's the thing you wanted? Jump drive, Steve, I think is one of the things you wanted on there. T-shirts, hats, those kind of things. And the goal will be, that we want you guys to not only be part of the community, but we want you to be living as part of the community as well. So we'll be working on trying to get some of the merch up in the marketplace here next month. So that is on our to-do. But we also want to leverage it so that when we see community members that are going above and beyond, especially ambassadors, things like that, that we can do surprise and delight moments where we can say, hey, you know what, we love you coming in, and this is a great overview video of us. Here's a coupon code that you can go spend in the store, right? These are the kind of things that we want to give away and reward our community members as well. So be looking forward to that next month or in the next month or two, but it is coming. And we've had some other exciting news as well. We've definitely expanded the team as we've introduced Amanda. Steve, do you want to kind of talk about that a little bit, how we've expanded the team?
Yeah, I mean, we're also continuing to expand the team. So we did bring on about 4 people, Amanda being one of them, to help out with a lot of our marketing efforts. We're also expanding the development team because we always need more devs to, as I mentioned at the beginning of this AMA, we have quite a few people quite a few items in the backlog, and the backlog is growing faster than it's shrinking. So we need more devs to help keep that in balance. So I think in the past month, we've basically since December, I think we've doubled the team from what it was beforehand. And we still need more people. So we're probably going to be adding a couple more staff here in the next couple months as well. We'll see if we find some appropriate candidates. We may end up just shuffling some internal staff around to fill some of those vacancies. But so we are potentially hiring if you're interested in working for Earnscape. So keep that in mind. I don't think we have a careers page on our website. We need to add one. One more thing for the backlog.
Noted.
Yep. Someone else for the backlog. Add a careers page to the website. So yeah, we have added, as I mentioned, Amanda, who's done a phenomenal job helping get the ambassador program up off the ground. And a lot of the people who are overseeing a lot of our social media are also new people. So if you've been interacting with
send me 10 interns.
Yeah, I mean, we need more interns too.
Yep.
I see a message. Apply. Yeah.
Yep, definitely. We have a lot of fun here, that's for sure.
And we try to make it not really a high stress environment, except for really major crunch times. The devs are kind of strung out, but they're starting to get everything.
That's just dev life.
That's the life of a dev. If you want to be a dev and just hammer some stuff for us, we need your help because we have a lot of stuff to build. And yeah, like I mentioned, it's only getting bigger. So yeah, keep an eye on our website. If we're going to be hiring soon, that'll be the first place that we post everything. So yeah, that's something else to keep an eye on.
But the good news, if you lived under a rock and have absolutely no development skills, no marketing skills, no sales skills, no development skills whatsoever, but you're really good at talking on Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, any platform, we could use you in this the ambassador program. So
how do you think I got here?
Oh man, the truth is
you're kind of the original ambassador, Doc.
Nice.
Shoot, yeah, folks. Sorry to cut you off.
No, go for it.
The cool news is here. Our baby's growing up. We're ready to expand. We're ready to really just dial everything up to 11, pump out some awesome updates, add some awesome features. It's truly exciting, especially, and I know certainly for Steve, because as he mentioned, this Earnscape kind of came out of other ideas, and as Steve kind of, took a wide zoom of what's going on in the gaming, the problem presented itself. And I've been here through all those iterations with him. So, I mean, I'm just super excited to be at the point that we are. And I'm sure that everyone on the team is too. I think what just happened? I think I just unplugged everything.
Well, we can still see and hear you.
You're still with us.
Send tech support.
Is that like a streaming version of a mic drop there? So.
That was me
Monitor
unplugging most of my everything from the wall.
That's why you don't put your plug on the floor, so you hit it with your foot, right?
That's exactly what I did. And yeah, I got to do a little office revamp here soon. And cord management, cable management's top of the list. Wait, where am I?
Don't worry, Doc.
Zip ties.
Just have your moderators fix it.
Yeah, mods, get on this.
Love it. All right, Amanda, why don't you tell us a little bit more about the ambassador program for those that are just getting familiar with what it is. If you've lived under a rock the last week, now's your chance to learn a little bit more about it.
I mean, the polar blast is for the most part gone, so I hope that they're coming out of those rocks.
Yep.
But yeah, the Earnscape Ambassador Program is the best way of earning more essentially than what you already earn with Earnscape. The program lets passionate gamers like you represent the Earnscape community and provides opportunities to help other gamers, people that are curious about the app, earn money doing what they love, playing games. As an ambassador, you'll join our community of like-minded gamers, but become known as a subject matter expert, so to speak, allowing you to build your personal brand and getting rewarded for sharing content, games, strategies, etc. You'll be a better resource than IGN. So pretty much it's why should you join? Well, why not? You're already playing and earning rewards from these games. So becoming an ambassador means you'll be able to earn more. You'll get early access to new features. You'll be able to get exclusive swag opportunities and cash rewards for helping others discover the app and the ins and outs of it, Plus, you'll gain a lot of new friends as you begin networking. We're all a nice big community here of ambassadors. We're here to help each other out. And getting started is really easy. All you have to do is just head to Earnscape's website, fill out the application, and you're automatically in. But once the cutoff happens on the 14th, then you still have to stake your way in with the Earnscape tokens.
Yep.
Yes, or pay me $50 at the secret back door.
Yeah.
You got to do the knock.
Oh,
sorry,
geez.
I don't mean to cut you off. Please continue.
You're fine. The best part is the gaming community is already buzzing about this whole ambassador program. We have over 700 ambassadors currently in the program within the last month or two, if I remember right. So this is huge for us.
We only expected to have 100 by now, just FYI, everybody. So we're blowing that out of the water.
Yeah.
By the way, Cody, I can't seem to drop the link in the chat. It wants me to connect my YouTube for it.
Oh yeah, no problem. I'll drop it. So give me just a second. I'll grab it. But last time I checked, which was yesterday, I think we had over 700 ambassadors sign up for the program. So kudos to you guys.
800.
It's 800.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think that's awesome.
I think we're at about close to over halfway to 900.
We're gonna have to cut it off. Like,
no,
you
know what, guys? Listen,
guys.
Listen. That seems like a lot, but when the marketing starts, where we're reaching out and also serving ads in traditional Web 2 land, and all of a sudden, like, we're getting 10,000, 50,000 people, 100,000 people actually using this app, that 800 is going to be a beautiful number. Yeah, because it's the ratio is going to be where it needs to be for people to be able to find access. And then we're going to turn more people into, empowered creators through the streaming, and everybody's on there. But no weird pump fund streaming. Can't do that on this app anyway. Thank goodness.
You won't be allowed to do that kind of
We
stuff.
don't need any of that.
That's the fastest way to get kicked out.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's a great point there. And I would say let's try to make it to 1,000 before the 14th of this next month. Pretty feasible. Yeah. Let's try to hit that number. So make sure that you sign up grandma who's playing Bejeweled or those other kind of games that they like to play. But
my mom is on level 18,000 of Wordscape.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not lying.
Hyperbolic, or is that real?
No, I somewhere I have a screenshot. It's like level 18,000. She's got all her little animal badges that like boost your whatever's, all like I would say that she is a more hardcore gamer, and she's 85.
Well, there you go.
90% of the people in this space, man.
Well, if your grandma is on Twitter,
it's my mom.
More props to you. Yeah. But if she's not, make sure that you get her signed up for the ambassador program.
Do you think we could get my mom as a streamer on Earnscape?
Dude,
why not?
Why not? I think she
like grandma gaming.
Yeah.
Gamer grandma.
I had her flip coins on Coinbase last, cycle.
She's do it. Let's do it. I mean, if they know how to run Facebook, they should be able to run the streaming.
Oh, she doesn't do Facebook. She's vehemently against it.
She does MySpace.
I don't blame her.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm so sorry I don't mean to detract any conversation. This has been such a long day, and I'm in like haha mode.
Nah,
but I think we're all like just excited, right? It's cool. It's awesome. Like, this is the final. This is like the push. This is when you're circling to getting everything, put the chess pieces on the board, and you're ready to advance. In the 90s, indie record labels, they took off. It was huge, right? The whole independent like change of the way media was done, and they did that through street teams. They'd send you hats and stickers, and you go out there and put them on the flagpoles and stuff like that. And that's what our ambassador program is. It's our street team to get out there and shout from the rooftops what Earnscape's going to be about. And the more powerful it is, the more time you spend with us, the more you learn the ins and outs of what Earnscape's going to be, and take that out and share that knowledge. Like, it's gonna come back, and it's gonna benefit everybody. So it's thanks to everyone who's been interested and who's signed up.
Yeah, exactly. And it will be a great tool for those that really want to build themselves up as a known expert, a gaming expert, whatever you want to be. Earnscape will allow you to do it within the community. So so I think that pretty much covers anything. Steve, do you want to drop any type of alpha for these guys before we go to some of these questions that are loading up in the comments sections?
I mean, the only alpha I can drop is one I dropped earlier, which is start hoarding your rewards and use them to get something that's going to really benefit you in the future.
Okay. There you go.
I don't give financial advice. I don't make predictions on token prices, but I do know that our token will have a very strong utility in our ecosystem, and I think that it will be very valuable for the people who acquire it.
Lots of utilities. So that's the goal. Okay, cool. So there are a couple of questions here. I'll start with the ones that are being... It's disappearing.
Here it is. Oh, this is the screenshot of my mom's level. It's level 16,000.
Oh, 16,000.
Yeah, 16,000.
Now I'm not impressed.
Pardon me. I just wanted to share that. I'm so proud of my mother, though.
There goes all your credibility, Doc. I'm just kidding.
You exaggerated by 2,000 levels. That's crazy.
Yeah. Jeez. Ugh, that's awesome. All right. Let me kind of jump in here real quick, scroll up to the top and start answering some of these questions. We already answered the App Store. Premium membership, we already answered. What kind of projects are you partnering with? I think we pretty much answered that one. Will there be blah, blah, blah? What is your top 3 things for priorities in 2023? I think they meant 2025.
In 2023, our priority was not die. I think
Yeah.
I think we did that.
And could you share some plans for the upcoming year?
Yeah, so assuming we're talking about 2025, obviously everybody should be aware by now that the TGE is a thing. So that's one of our top priorities. Next priority would be finalizing a couple of these really high-powered agreements that we've already gotten signed and finishing the integrations for those so that the people, especially with people who are participating in the streaming, just start making like absolute gobs of money. Like you have no idea how many people are going to be viewing these streams. It's going to be phenomenal once we get all that set up. So finalizing that's probably one of the number one things after the TGE. Then the next thing, I don't really want to share the next thing because that's still a little bit far out. And
yeah,
big
so,
stuff. I mean, like, it's huge, really. And the thing Steve was just talking about is like, chef kiss, baby. It's like so good. I don't like to be that guy, but like it's really cool.
yeah. And I'll kind of add to that as well. You know, from a marketing perspective, we definitely want to, when you stream as a streamer, we want you to basically be able to hit the masses. So there's a lot of functions and features that we're building into it so that you can stream multiple channels, but also from a marketing perspective, being able to hit SEO, right? So as people are searching for your name or they're searching for the game, hopefully we can start getting these kind of games pulling up so your streams can start pulling up in those that search engine result, right? Because that could be huge as well. Plus social sharing, I think that's a given that your followers could potentially share your streams as well. So we're taking everything into consideration when it comes to the streaming app to not only make it beneficial for you to do it and to participate into it, but also make it a great experience for not only you, but for the users that are watching it as well. Let's see here. So I think we'll just end that alpha at that point right there. How about that, Steve? I think I know where you were going to go with the next one, but definitely let's hold on to that one for another round. Let's see.
I'm telling everybody, it's Taco Tuesday every week.
Dang it, Doc. Your credibility just keeps going down and down.
Yeah, keep you out of space, man.
Oh, man. I'm about ready to boot you. I'm just kidding. All love. Let's see here. Somebody says she should be making a lot on Earnscape. I think they're referring to your mom. So we definitely need to get her streaming on that.
Make it happen, Captain.
ASAP. What benefits can we get from holding your Earns token in the long term?
That sounds like a financial advice question, so I'm going to decline to answer that. However, the utility that you get from our token by actually using it within the ecosystem should be more than enough to justify using it in our ecosystem.
Yep, agreed.
Yes, for sure. We are planning plenty for the user experience and different things that you can do. It's not just going to be, this isn't just a token so the project can raise money. This is a token for you to use to get a lot of value out of, to be able to experience different parts of Web3 gaming on the whole. And that's really kind of like where we cap that, but it'll definitely have a purpose.
Yep. Okay, so I'm going to the ones that sent in their questions. Again, thank you to the community that sent these in. It greatly helps us we appreciate it, and it greatly helps us to be a little bit more organized on this thing. So one of the questions we already went over the roadmap. What is the mission and vision of the Earnscape project?
Man, the overarching vision, I guess, would be to be the one-stop shop for game discovery and marketing for basically all mobile games and eventually probably all games. We do intend to expand into browser games and desktop games and console games, and we do have a partnership in place to already help with some of that. But I would say, yeah, the overall vision is to be like the one source for that you would go to specifically for mobile gaming, and not just gaming. We do intend on expanding beyond gaming. There's no reason that our model can't also be applied to any other mobile application specifically, but really any other product that needs exposure. So that's really the goal, is to bring the power of Web3 to everybody who would possibly want to use it without needing to know anything about blockchain, in a way that benefits the underdogs of the developers and the builders of the world, so that they can benefit from having a pre-selected source of people who are going to be interested in their product. And again, all that's powered by Web3. We could do it without Web3, but why would we want to make it so that everybody has to live in a centralized system? I don't agree with that. That runs counter to my ethos.
Yep. What benefits can we get from the Earnscape mobile app?
Should be pretty obvious. Make some money, if nothing else. You also find games that you probably wouldn't find anywhere else. Some of them, we plan on adding a couple of pretty major games as featured games too, but that's TBD and not really something I'm going to go into at this time. But yeah, as we add more games, they're probably mostly not games that you would have run into organically, because again, 200 new games a day, the odds of you finding any one that's really good are actually pretty slim, unless they had $1 billion marketing budget, and a lot of the big ones do. And guess what? Those games usually suck. So benefits are monetize the time that you already spend playing games and find some better ones than the ones that you found simply because they were the loudest.
Yep. And I think it's a good call out for those that are just fairly new to Earnscape app, is that you don't necessarily need to play the games that are already in the app. If you're playing a game that you have on your phone, on your mobile device, you can add that to the Earnscape app and still earn off of that game, even if they're not partnered with us, which is huge, because I don't know any other platform that's doing that currently. So that would be another huge benefit in my mind. Okay, next question. Are you planning to add NFTs to your Earnscape project?
In a word, yes. I can't really go into the details right now, but NFTs have always been on the roadmap. And actually, this originally started off as a pure NFT concept. The fact that we now have a mobile app is a departure from the original concept. And we do plan on cycling all the way back to the original NFTs and incorporating a lot of that. We actually have a lot of that already developed because of how this project originally started. And thanks to that, we'll be able to, when the time comes, we'll be able to deploy it relatively rapidly.
Perfect. Do you have any plan for burning Earns tokens in the future to reduce the supply of the Earns token and increase the investment attractiveness?
No.
Why would we want to do that anyway?
Yeah, I know, a lot of people assume that if you don't have a burn protocol that, you're just going to mint forever. We're not minting. We have a very defined amount of rewards that we can give out in the token. And if we start burning them, then we're going to lock people out. You have to have a certain number of tokens in order to be a streamer. And there's only so many of the tokens out there. If we start burning them, then people aren't going to be able to stream. People aren't going to be able to become ambassadors. So Absolutely not. I'm not going to increase the supply, but I'm also not going to be decreasing the supply. If you buy them and burn them yourself, you're more than happy to, but I would advise you not to do that, because that reduces the supply, and we don't want a reduction in supply.
No. And look, maybe that's a great solution for some people, but Steve has spent so much time detailing and modeling out an economy for Earnscape that will never require a burn to take place, because there's utility, there's value, there's use case, and there are things in place that will constantly have this token seeing velocity that it needs. So this burn for investment attractiveness. I mean, say what you want, NFA, of course, but generally, that's like a red flag in my book.
Yeah, that's
begin with.
DGen talk, and we're not here for the DGens. They're welcome
No.
to participate if they want, but that's not who we appeal to. And remember that this is something that's designed for the Web 2 people who don't want to know anything about Web 3, don't participate in the pump and dumps, don't chase the next 1000x gain. So if that's why you're interested in our token, then you've come to the wrong place. But if you're interested in something that's actually going to have utility, then this is probably one of the premier places for you to be.
We're definitely focused on playing games.
I agree.
Yep. One question, and I apologize to the community that there's a few of you that are asking multiple questions. I'm just kind of skipping over to make sure that we give everybody ample time to get their questions answered if they're asking. And then if there's time, I'll come back to you. So one of the other questions was, I added a game and after playing for 2 hours, I didn't get any reward. I think it's important that we kind of explain how that whole thing works in order for them to track the rewards and earn them.
Yeah, so, and this will be a little bit more clear in the soon to be released version as well, but there's two things. One, you do have to go back to the app. If the app is constantly running, but if you stop, go off and do something, if you put your phone down and walk away for an hour or something and your phone goes into sleep mode, that can disrupt the app's functioning in the background because your phone stopped. And if the phone stops, then our tracking systems all get shut down. And if you're gone for a sufficiently long time, then the cache gets purged by your phone. There's very little we can do about that. When you're done playing a game, you have to go right back to the app within, not necessarily instantly, but relatively soon afterwards to claim your rewards. And they'll be automatically added to your account, but you have to actually return to the app. Also, right now, the reward pool is empty. So one thing that seems to elude a lot of people is that there is a fixed amount of rewards that can be earned every week. Yeah, every week, Monday morning at midnight UTC, that pool refills, and that's only a limited amount of points. Once all those points are earned, there's no more rewards to be earned. So we have made this exceptionally clear in many ways throughout the app when that pool is empty. Right now, it is empty. So if you were to go play a game right now, you would still accrue time. You would still be able to complete tasks. You'd still be able to move up in the leaderboard. And if you're playing Royal Rampage and you really want to win those NFTs and you want to get some additional points, you can absolutely go and move all the way up and knock everybody else out of the running. But you're not going to get any points right now for that because the reward pool is empty. Now, again, it'll refill again in a couple days. But as we continue to grow, there's more people taking from the pot. We do keep every week, the pool has been getting bigger. I don't know how many people have noticed that, but like a couple weeks ago, it was somewhere around 864,067 points. Then it increased to 893,422 points. This week, it was 1 million on the dot. So it lasted a little bit longer, but as we increase the pool, more people keep coming to play. So that's as our revenues continue to increase, so will the size of the reward pool that we offer, and as also once live streaming is in there, then the money supply will go through the roof. So the reward pool
feature set is going to help. There are several things that will come later that's going to let you layer some different types of rewards.
Yeah, remember that this is still like basically an alpha stage where this is still basically an MVP of the product. It's a work in progress, and we're building it out and making it better every single day. And the reward pools are increasing every single day, and we are growing every single day. So that's just people need to understand how the reward pool works.
100%.
Please excuse me for a moment. My dog will not stop scratching at the door. I shall return.
You kind of touched upon this, Steve, earlier about KYC being kind of moved from manual to the in-app experience. This question is KYC verification required before you can get signed up to your platform? If yes, which company have you partnered with that is responsible for the KYC verification?
No, KYC is not required unless you do something So if you do something sketchy and our anti-fraud detection system picks up on it, then you'll get flagged, and then you're notified that you're required to do KYC. Also, once you reach a certain, this hasn't been implemented yet, but this is going to be implemented very soon. Once you reach a certain dollar amount of earnings, you will be required to KYC. That's out of our control. This is something that's forced on us by the powers that be. So we've been kind of skating around that and giving excuses as to why we haven't been able to do that yet, and that's been fine. But this will be coming very soon. So some of our larger earners will all suddenly find themselves restricted from being able to withdraw until they complete KYC. But just to get started, no, it's not required. It's a pretty frictionless onboarding process. You just open the app, download the app, open it, log in with whatever like email account that you prefer, and then you can get going.
Awesome. One other question that I have, I'll take this one. What partnerships or collaborations has Earnscape formed to expand the platform? So can't really say right now. We have signed the contracts with them. But as soon as I believe they're going to start pushing out these KOL and influencer campaigns at the beginning of February. So once they come out, we will address, you'll basically start being able to pick up and see who they are. But we will kind of give you guys an update in next month's AMA when we can fully disclose who's signed up and kind of partnered with us on those collaborations and partnerships to push the platform growth. Again, I think this should be, due to the interest of time, I think that this should be another discussion, which I think we'll probably end up doing anyways, regarding the tokenomics and distribution of that. Correct me if I'm wrong, Steve, but I think we should do a completely different AMA just to go over focused on that kind of stuff for those that want to know.
I agree. But the short answer is just read the white paper.
Yeah.
It's linked on our website. If you go to our website and click on the link to view the paper, all that information's there.
Yep. We kind of addressed that one. What are some of the best features? We'll already talked about that one. Many projects have problems with UI UX, and this one turns off new users. How do you plan to improve the interaction with new users and with users outside of the crypto space? Do you want to take that, and then I'll jump in?
I'll be very brief and let you take over. We have put UX at the forefront, and I have a core ethos that you should require no information, no education needed. You shouldn't need to know anything about Web3 to use Web3 functionality. The same way you're probably not thinking about the fact that you had to connect to TCP/IP protocol and you're watching this over RTMPS right now. Like, do you know how any of that works? I do, because I've been building on it, but does anybody watching this know how those technologies work? Did you need to think about them to watch this? No, the user experience was just built into the function. And that's been a core ethos of ours for Earnscape. And Cody can speak to that in more detail.
Yeah, so if you are just catching up, as I mentioned at the beginning when I was introducing myself, my background is in marketing, UI UX design. That was my main trade for well over 20 years. So it's been fun coming in, helping Steve, Doc, and the development team kind of maneuver around some things, clean some things up. There is a beautiful UI that's coming out, user interface, that's going to be released here hopefully tomorrow for some of you, and to start testing. So we are taking that into consideration. I've been in crypto long enough that I've been in crypto since 2017. I've been through the horrible times of poor UI UX design. It's been great to see kind of a momentum shift over the last probably 3 years of projects focusing on developing good UI UX, because I strongly agree with this, that the UI is pretty much the first thing that people see, and it's the first thing that turns people off. So we definitely want to make it so intuitive. I've been using this for years, but it's nice to see that it's starting to get adopted, that we want to make it as so simple that grandma can use it, right? So Doc's mom, we're coming for you, sweetheart. So
she's going to be our tester.
Yeah, she's going to be our number one. tester streamer out there. So get ready.
Awesome.
So yeah, next question is staking. We've kind of already talked about staking, so we'll skip that one. We've already talked about when the Earnscape token will be launched. We've already talked about some major updates about the Earnscape app development we've gone through. The payment, what is the payment schedule and method for the Earnscape ambassadors? This is a good question. I'll take this one, Amanda. So the way that we designed the ambassador program is it runs off of just the same thing as your normal tasks that you would see in the Earnscape app for playing daily, weekly, monthly tasks that you see. In the newer version, you'll see a toggle at the top of it where you'll be able to toggle over if you're an ambassador. And on that ambassador thing, there'll be tasks that you'll be able to go through and see. Those tasks will be treated just like a normal task that you would complete as a normal user gamer inside of the Earnscape app. They go into your reward pool, point pool, and then from there it follows the same path for cash out, exchanging for gift cards, whatever it might be. But we wanted to make it as so simple and seamless as possible so that there's no secondary reward system. There's no secondary system that you've got to go through. We wanted it all fully integrated and seamless into the app. So when it comes to the payment, however which way you're getting paid out now or collecting points, it'll be exactly the same way. Talk about pay, discuss, as mentioned, what's the pay. We already talked about that. You're going to start selection for the ambassadors. Again, if you've already filled out the Google Doc form, you're already approved, ready to go. If you did not listen to the kickoff call, we'll stick that in the comments as well. Basically, there is a great article if you go on to Twitter or any of our socials, Twitter, Telegram, Discord, Facebook, you'll find the link to our how to become or why should I become an ambassador. And in there, it breaks it down. There's even the kickoff video in there as well that goes over everything that you need to know. So it talks about, when we're going to get started, how it works, how you can earn everything that way. So that should answer a lot of your guys' questions regarding that. Once the app has been deployed from the Android store, those with Android devices will be able to get going with the ambassador tasks and start testing it and seeing how it works for everybody. Please be sure to follow up with your feedback, bugs, things like that. For those on iOS, which I'm one of them, we do have to wait until the iOS version comes out, unless you're willing to go buy a tablet or something like that runs off of Android. That's the only way that you're going to be able to get it. I did find one Android device from a family member with cracked screen and all, but I'm still able to use it. So whatever you need to do. Facebook Marketplace is a great one if you want to get started early. Otherwise, you just need to wait if you have iOS. We've already talked about the long-term vision. Do you have any plans on OTC deals?
Yes. We have a partnership with a major name in the space to facilitate OTC deals in the event that they are necessary.
Okay, perfect. Looks like we've got a couple more questions. Can you provide details about Earnscape's participation in the XDC OX Camp Accelerator program and how it aims to propel the platform's growth in Web3 gaming space?
I think
that ended a while ago.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, like that. We ran through the program. It was very informative. We learned a lot. It helped us design a lot of the token stuff. And that program ended back in like October.
Yeah, about then, right?
Yeah. Shortly after
Singapore.
Yeah.
There you go.
Folks, I do have to step out soon, though. My children required food. The 6-year-old still can't use a bow and arrow to catch her own. So,
oh man,
I know.
No. Yeah, we just got a couple.
I do
want
to be mindful of time, though.
Yep, we got a couple of questions left,
right.
And we're coming up here on 90 minutes, so we'll end it here. How does Earnscape plan to utilize the insights gained from on-chain data to improve its fraud detection mechanisms and overall platform integrity?
Ooh, that's a good one.
I love that one.
Yeah, we have some really good partnerships that are helping us with this. So a lot of people who may find themselves randomly suspended or restricted pending various checks, a lot of that is because we are tracking all of this. We don't go into the details because I don't like to give any information out about how we identify fraud and abuse and people trying to cheat the system. But our systems are only getting smarter, and the partnerships that we have to help with this are also in the process of improving. We have a lot more to integrate as well. But rest assured, we are tracking all of these on-chain metrics, and they are helping us identify who is an awesome person, who sucks, who is probably trying to commit fraud, who does a lot of trading and flipping, and who's just here to try and drain the system. So if we know a lot about you, and sometimes we may not be certain, so we'll let you go for a little bit longer and build up a bit of more of a profile on you. And if we have determined that you are probably a bad actor, action will be taken.
Yep.
Love it. We've already talked about that. Here's a good one. What is the biggest challenge for new Earnscape streamers? What are the prospects for the Earnscape streaming industry in the future, and how can AI and VR technology change the streaming?
AI and VR?
Yeah.
I mean, gosh, we're getting into kind of advanced territory there. That's a really interesting question, to be honest. I'm not sure if anyone's ever broached that before. But
definitely not on the VR side. We've had a lot of talk about AI.
Yeah,
AI and AR. I think AR is awesome, and there's probably going to be some future wearable that interfaces directly with your mobile device that allows you to do some AR gaming and stuff like that in the future. But I mean, as far as streaming that, that tech's not there. Let's concentrate on the stuff we can do now and do well. Make sure we do that really well first before we get to Ready Player One, which I'm
VR streaming
totally
is that's a whole nother level.
Yeah.
Nobody is there yet. I think we're still at least 5 years out.
And about $200 million short.
Yeah, hey, if there's any VCs watching that want to give me $1 billion to develop this tech,
we'll have it solved for you. No time. Yeah, no, I think those are great points. Plus, the thing is, with our roadmap that we have, and with the way technology is, if you wait 6 months, it's all going to change anyways. There's going to be new tech out. There's going to be all this kind of new buzz, new trends that people are jumping onto. So, the one thing that a lot of projects oftentimes lose focus because they're always chasing the golden trend that's out there that everybody wants. And by the time they get done developing it, it's already moved on to something else, right?
Yeah.
So that's why we need to be so hyper-focused on our mission, our values, and our goals of what we want to do as a platform, and cross those bridges when we come across them. So
if we come across them.
If we come across them, right? I mean, if we had 200 billion people asking for 2 billion people asking for AR VR streaming in the community, I think we would probably divert a little bit more resource and time and effort into it. But
I mean, I think there's going to be a cool, just to get whatever, I think there will be a cool day where we're doing AR games and having AI interactive experiences, and you will be able to mix that with almost like a live stream sort of genre. where you can kind of like mash those things together and follow people as they interact in the regular world doing like crazy missions and stuff like that with AR games. I think that's going to be really, really cool. And hopefully we're like an $11 billion company by then, and we'll be able to adapt that technology like instantaneously when it comes.
Well, how about we do this? If the community members want to see Doc and I go down some really deep rabbit holes and go to Mars a couple of times and back, we'll do a
Yeah, get us on
AMA.
a late night call after like a lot of coffee.
Yep, we'll do a
we'll take you on
AMA.
an adventure.
Yep, we'll do a special AMA with those type of questions, and trust me, we will take you down a rabbit hole or
For
two.
sure, man.
Okay, just kind of moving on here. I think we already answered that question. We answered that question. Long-term goals, we already talked about that. Ambassador program. Yeah, I think we pretty much answered everybody's question. Here's a good question to kind of end it with. Where do you see this project in 10 years to come?
I hate that question.
That's why I asked it.
It's like the job application question. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? So I never answer it anymore because there has been so much change. Like if you asked me 2 years ago where I saw what is now Earnscape being, it was a completely different name, had a completely different focus. Any answer I would have given you would have been so far off the mark. 5 years ago, 5 years ago, COVID hadn't happened yet. Like, imagine what did you think your life was going to be like 5 years ago? What did you think your life was going to be like today? Guarantee you're wrong because you didn't expect COVID. We have no idea what lies ahead in the next 10 years. So I absolutely hate that question. However, I will answer it anyway. After lamenting that question. So I see in 10 years, Earnscape being probably the predominant player when it comes to mobile gaming. And I see a world where no game can really get any traction unless they have partnered with us in some capacity, because we basically control the flow at that point, where if you're not part of our ecosystem, you're missing out to everybody else who's already there. And the technology that empowers us to be that gatekeeper, I don't want to say gatekeeper, but that traffic cop, that flow diverter,
the Google to websites, right?
Yeah. I don't
No,
want to say
it's not even like
Google
that. It's like Emperor Palpatine when he reveals himself. He's like, unlimited power.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Yeah, it's a major problem. Discovery is a huge problem. Like, again, of the 200 games a day, how many do you think actually survive? One at best each day. We can change that and make all the good games get the players they deserve. How many people play a game that they hate just because they keep playing it because they don't know what else to play? Quite a few, believe it or not. We have the data to prove this, and we can fix all of that by identifying the games that you actually want to play. And heck, we might even get to the point where we know that so many people would love a certain game, and then find a game developer who's making similar games and tell them this is exactly what you should be making, because we can tell you exactly how many people you're going to get if you make this game. Like, the possibilities are truly unlimited, and I see a world where gaming becomes very deeply integrated into all of our lives in ways that you can't possibly imagine now. Not necessarily Ready Player One style, but kind of similar in many ways, especially with, when I was in DC, I don't know if you've seen the new not Google Glass, that's way old, but the new Facebook Ray-Bans where you wear them and it records it. Like, the possibilities for that technology integrated with AR and gaming, imagine what the Apple Vision Pro could have been. That's coming, and no one's going to be able to find what they want to do without a way, find what systems they want to integrate for that kind of experience. Be able to find the way to properly gamify your individual life without what we're working to build.
Yep,
and
100%.
That's the future I see.
It's like we're all going to be in a little isekai anime and be able to call up like these like menus to do stuff and gamify literally though our entire lives. I think I agree with Steve.
Yep.
And Earnscape has the potential to go way outside of gaming, but we're not going to talk about that right now, my babies. We got to do.
That's a whole nother.
What we do.
Why'd you open up that can of worms?
What we
Now we're
do
going to have
good
a
first.
flood of questions about that. Thanks.
And with that, good night.
Yeah. So no, that's a great place to end on. Any last words you want to say to the community till we talk to them again next month?
Keep doing what you're doing. You know, you're really making a big difference. Everybody has been really supportive recently, especially, you know, things have really been moving. If you like what you see from us and you want to hear more from us, you know, just let us know. We're, believe it or not, you know, we are always in the chats. We don't just have community moderators. Like if you're in Telegram and you see anonymous messages pop up, that's oftentimes me. Same in the Discord. So, you know, we're in there. We're listening constantly. We appreciate all your feedback. Don't be a spammer. Don't be a scammer. Don't be a crybaby. But if you have constructive criticism, if you have feedback that you want us to hear, go ahead and share it. We're always listening.
Yep. Doc?
Yeah, well, I mean, thanks for being here. Thanks for all the early support and the long-term support. I think it's great. There's so much good stuff coming. I'm super excited for the next few months. For any of those of you who are also, you know, in the industry or whatever, we'll be at ETH Denver, we'll be at GDC. If you are, you know, a mobile game studio and you're watching this stream, please reach out to us at any time. We're more than happy to put you on the app and bring you some players and join the family and have a good time and all that good stuff. So yeah, but for the community, thank you so much. This is like really just the beginning of this, you know, it's exciting. I'll say that. So stick around. There's more to come.
Awesome. Amanda, do you want to, any last words?
Any last words?
Keep playing games, but Caboose's last meow is reminding people to eat.
That means Doc's got to feed his kids. So anyways, we'll wrap this up. So thanks everybody for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Again, kind of bear with us as we go for the next few months, trying to settle into these community AMAs. We definitely want to do these a lot more often to keep you in the loop of what has happened, what is happening, and what we are trying to plan for the rest of the year. So again, thank you for your participation. Thank you for listening in. And first and foremost, to the ambassadors that have already started sharing content about Earnscape, my hat's off to you guys. You guys have come up with some pretty creative stuff. It looks great. It's high quality. Keep it going. We'll make sure that we keep supporting from our end to give it some likes and comments and push as hard as we can on our end. And eventually you'll have the full support of a whole ambassador community on top of the regular Earnscape community. So with that being said, thank you. Till we meet again next month, have a good one and keep pushing crypto. See ya.